What is up, guys? This is the Overleveled podcast, episode 8. And of course, we have on the panel, we have Inspector and Taladia, but we do not have a Marvel DC fan. And the reason for that is because we couldn't get a hold of him, and we kind of planned for doing this episode like literally yesterday. So hopefully he'll be on maybe possibly next week. And if we get him, that'll be great. And of course, we have a couple of gaming topics and a couple of comic book movie related topics as well, and we'll go into it. And I also do want to talk a little bit about like the TV realm side of things like that. And but the first topic, of course, is going to be we're going to talk about the Avengers game, and we have heard things such as this game is supposed to be a third-person cover game. So, guys, think of it more along the lines of Uncharted. But, of course, then you have, like, the superhero elements of that. And, of course, we didn't get any screenshots. It's all things slowly trickling down, such as, job listings for, Crystal Dynamics and stuff like that, hearing about that. And just to get your guys' thoughts on that. And personally, of course, I like that we're hearing that it's going to be a third-person action-adventure game. And besides that, we don't have much to go on, but we'll start with Inspector.
I like that it's a third-person action game. I kind of expected it to be, but I don't know how I feel about like a cover-based game.
Well, I don't want to say cover based. I want to say like third person. You know what I mean, like Uncharted.
Yeah.
But not like a shooter.
Well, I know, but yeah, I mean, Uncharted is kind of a cover based kind of shooter. But I get what you mean. Like it's only like from job listings, so you have to take it with like a huge grain of salt. It's like, what are the job listings like? Animation programmer, or like I didn't look at the job listings. What were the job listings?
It was like basically that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So there's really not enough to go on to get like a full opinion. So
exactly. I mean, Crystal Dynamics, of course, were the same people that have made like Square owns Crystal Dynamics, and Crystal Dynamics has made like the Tomb Raider reboots, and they're also getting help from Eidos, Montreal, and those are the same people that worked on, of course, Deus Ex. And I'm assuming that we're going to get a storyline in terms of complexity like Deus Ex, because those guys are talented writers, and I love the work that they have done. And now they're also doing this and also possibly making the new Tomb Raider game. What do you think, Taladia, about it being a third-person game? Well,
I think it's a plus sign that we finally got some sort of announcement that there is a third-person game. That is a positive sign. The downside to it is, though, that we don't know what. Like, the downside is we haven't had any screenshots of it, of, obviously the game, or some concept art of some sort, nothing like that. But we do have some job listings. So, in my own opinion on this fact is, I think personally that it's a good job that they've announced something. And it's not like, it's not, they're not WB Montreal. They're not them, right? Where they haven't done anything for 3 years, 4 years. And that's what I like about Crystal Dynamics Square Enix and Eidos Montreal, where they've literally said, all right, here's our plan. We're going to make a Marvel Avengers game, but we won't announce anything until later on. But yet, they announced something, which is nearly towards 2018, and finally, it's something positive that leads up to 2018. So there's a possibility of an announcement at E3 next year, which I think could be the case.
However, the negative is that interest in this game has kind of gone down just because of, like, this is the most information we've gotten in the last, I don't know, like 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months, yeah.
6 months since the game was revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that happens with all games when we don't get much information about them, but then the hype comes back. It's the same thing even with movies. In that point, you. I'm even surprised when movies are into that the hype train, and then it kind of dies down because we haven't like seen a trailer for it, and then once they release it, then it goes back up. Of course, though, E3 would be that time for them to show it off, and of course, also, I don't expect this game to come out 2018. I expect this to be a 2019 game.
Yeah.
Just in terms of how Square Enix releases their titles and announces their titles, and we're gonna probably have that release date. But we do have Marvel DC fan who actually showed up. What do you think about the news for it being a third-person action adventure type of game?
For the Avengers game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind. Honestly, I haven't really I haven't heard anything about the Avengers game since its announcement, so I haven't been keeping tabs on it. But now that it's a third-person game, it honestly doesn't bother me in any way. I mean, Batman Arkham did third-person, and it was fine like that. So
yeah. Some people are trying to confuse it though. I've seen comments saying, "Oh, it's like Ultimate Alliance," which Ultimate Alliance wasn't really. That's a top-down game. It's not really a third-person game. So
a third-person game would be like something like Tomb Raider or
or Arkham Knight. Yeah,
Arkham Knight. That would be a third-person game. So I'm saying that it's positive vibes. So I'm thinking, because you remember the cancelled Avenger game?
That was like first person.
That was first person. Now this game is a third person, so I think it would be a big step towards something big. But
man, I really wish we could have gotten that game.
But the first person game?
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah. I don't. That was only because THQ went bankrupt, and that was because of the backlash with WWE and everything. And that's the reason why. But I mean, with the back to the Avengers game itself, like the Square Enix stuff, the only negative I will say is that we're just gonna have to wait a long time before we get something big, like huge CGI, like a big, some characters that are actually in the trailer, like they did with Injustice, like.
I would agree with that. We'll probably see it in E3 or that's the only real firm date we would probably get something like that.
Unless it gets leaked, like big leaked. Like
I don't see Square ever having like leaked trailers coming out before or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like they're very like tight-lipped about things like that.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna go into Xbox news, and this is more like about their Gamescom and how a lot of people are not fans, but the fanboys that like try to make fun of Sony for their games because they don't like their games, like they don't like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy because there's female leads, or that their games get delayed. But then they cover up the fact that their games get delayed and canceled. Yeah, and Crackdown got delayed again, and it's been announced.
Cough, Scalebound, cough.
Yeah. So, and I'm just like, I was like, wow. And seeing their announcement titles for Gamescom, it was pretty bad because I did watch it just to see what they were going to put out. And then we see, they are hyping up Lucky's Tale, which is an indie game. They're hyping up what other Disneyland remastered, recorded definitive edition, which I'm just like, wow. Record already came out like a year ago, and now you're having a definitive edition, and I'm just like, okay. And just all these other games, and it's just they're not even like really exclusive. And then they lost Dead Rising 4, and they had Age of Empire 4, I think it's 4, and people were hyping that up, supposed to come to Xbox, and it's only exclusives to Windows 10. So I'm just like, and then hearing Aaron Greenberg, who's the marketing, head of Xbox, saying the fans or the people that come to Xbox come because of the games that we have, the franchises that we have, and then we look at it statistically and look at the user base that buys their games. And it's not for Quantum Break. It's not like even Gears has underperformed, and Halo sales are dwindling, and they're not to that peak like they were in the 360 generation.
Hold on. With the Gear stuff, right?
Yeah.
It flopped. It flopped big time. It's a fail.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think like nobody streams it? Like, yeah, people stream it, but it's failing like miserably on people, and people play it because they don't like the maps. They don't like this, they don't like that. And when it comes to console games now, with the this PUBG thing, right, coming to console, PC gamers are complaining about it, literally. And that's a big, like, I think, in my own opinion, if you don't mind me saying, I think all the exclusive that Xbox has, right? They need to up their game and they need to match up to what PlayStation has, big time. If they don't match up to that, I think you're gonna have problems, real issues. Like you're gonna have. You remember that? What's that cancel game again? I forgot. What it is.
Well, they had
Scalebound.
two, Scalebound and Fable
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah, Scalebound. Right, that was a big game. They are hyping it up so much, and then it just collapsed.
Wasn't that Platinum?
Yeah, it was Platinum Games. They were working on it.
They went on to go to Nier, so they went from a Xbox exclusive to a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah. So it's like Xbox is losing out big time. So that's what I'm saying myself. Is like, look, if Xbox wants to up their game, get some AAA DC, not AAA DC games, get some AAA games. Like, for example, you could easily get the likes of Shadow of War. Keep that. And, you could make that as an exclusive. Like, I know you got your Forza, and I know you've got the likes of Need for Speed and all these types of games. But the thing is, you can't expect those types of games to be there forever. Look at FIFA, for instance. Now it's gone over to PlayStation, and PlayStation has the exclusive stuff. So, like, they have the.
Sorry. But
No.
I feel I feel the problem is that, as you're saying, like, people, like, one of the main franchises that Xbox had was Call of Duty, and that was multiplat. That was a multiplat game, and that was one of the biggest sellers in Xbox now. But now, since Call of Duty, the exclusive, like, the maps come early to PlayStation now, like, they basically like switched with Battlefield, because Battlefield used to be PlayStation and Call of Duty used to be Xbox, and now they flipped it. Yeah. So now, even now, if you see, Call of Duty sales are dropping too.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to play the beta for Call of Duty, and thanks to a friend of mine's, that because she told me, oh yeah, they're giving out beta codes at a gaming event. So I went to it, got a code, I played it, and I didn't like it because it was the same shit. It's the same shit that we get every year. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it, but the thing is, they need to change that. Like, you give us a mode called War. What is War gonna help us with, like, in World War II scenario? Nothing. It's just AIDS, and the spawn and everything like that on COD sucks. But with Battlefield 1, there's a different feeling to that game, and I know there is because I played that game. So in my honest opinion with COD, I know that they flipped it around and everything. I think COD should have stayed at Xbox, and it would have done really better at Xbox than it would on PlayStation.
And I feel the main problem is, like, I didn't pay attention to this news because I don't think anyone cares about Gamescom. Gamescom has always been an E3 shadow, and E3 is kind of like going down because less and less companies are caring about E3 nowadays.
Yeah.
So
especially
PlayStation, who has PlayStation Experience now.
Yeah.
And also Tokyo Game Show.
And Paris Game Show.
And Paris Games Week. So PlayStation has other priorities.
Yeah,
like,
and plus
I get why Xbox needs to have their like their presence there, but like
They need to make it
they need to make it
separate event.
and
separate
plus their keynotes are all the same. Like if you look at their E3 like their E3 conferences for the past like 3 or 4 years, it's always been big exclusive, Minecraft, sports, and then big exclusive at the end. And I don't get why they do Minecraft every year. Like, I don't know. Like,
Oh, dude, I was joking once. This was because they announced their 4K machine Xbox Project Scorpio. Then it was called the Xbox One X, and I was like, dude, wouldn't it be funny if Minecraft came out and say it's gonna be Minecraft 4K? And I was like, and then it happened. I was like, what? Dude, I was like, I'm done. Minecraft 4K.
We haven't gotten more.
Wow.
Let me tell you what I think the whole Xbox scenario is, especially comparing it, past years to now. Past years, you had some of the top games in the industry that made it to, Game of the Year, and that was because the help of Xbox actually got it to that level. But now, where you have the likes of Minecraft, I'm like, what, Minecraft in 4K, and the likes of Forza is the same every year.
Yeah, the only Forza Xbox fans care about is Horizon, which I would agree with as well. Like, Horizon looks fun.
I don't like the Forza Horizon 7. I do not like it whatsoever. But the Need for Speed, I played that and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we haven't gotten Marvel DC fans' opinion on this, so Marvel DC fan, go ahead.
The only game I want to play on Xbox is Cuphead, and that's it. Literally, I don't care about anything else.
And you can also get it on PC. I highly doubt the game's going to be taxing. Like,
no, it's going to be issues. I guarantee you.
So like that game it's hand drawn. Like every single step is like hand drawn for that game, and that's like the only thing. It's an indie game. And I thought, though, that was like probably the smartest thing Xbox has done with that was to see that talent for Cuphead and help bring it. And that's the only thing I'm super excited for, because I'll be honest, the only game I bought from Xbox on my PC was Quantum Break, and that went to Steam and not on the Windows 10 store exclusively. And I think I'm hearing Cuphead is also going to Steam as well. So it's like then you hear also the fanboys say, well, it's going on Windows 10 exclusively, so you can't say anything. And then you see some of them trickling down into Steam. So it's like then the narrative shifts. And when hearing Aaron Greenberg just talk about it, just saying, that these people go to these franchises that we have, and I'm just like, I highly disagree with that statement. I think the reason for them going there is A, brand loyalty, B, that's some people grew up with 360 as a kid, so then they ask their mom and dad, hey, I want to get a Xbox One, and that's what goes into it, because you don't see the same numbers that they got the 360 with their big exclusives. And now the funny thing is they keep saying the pillars, and everyone is starting to get annoyed about the pillars for Xbox exclusives like Gears, Forza, Halo. And he said it during Gamescom, Gears, Forza, Halo. And I'm just like, oh gosh. And then you got Sony, and this is what I really like about them, is they differentiate themselves with their games. They have Persona, they have Yakuza, they have Uncharted, they have God of War, they have Spider-Man, Days Gone. Yeah. And Detroit Become Human, and The Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and the list goes on, and Shenmue 3. And this is how they differentiate themselves with the competition, that they have this big variety of exclusives. And they'll even try on failed projects. And just recently, Knack 2 got released. So everyone thought Knack 2 was never going to be released and never come into fruition, and it did.
Yeah.
And if you look at this, like just like 5 or 6 years ago, it was the complete opposite, where PlayStation was just basically Killzone and Uncharted, and Xbox had all the exclusives, and now it's completely flipped, where PlayStation has all the exclusive, well, like not all of them, but most of the like unique exclusives.
A good majority.
A good majority of the exclusives, and now Xbox, as much as the fanboys want to say, like, the thing that the fanboys say is that, oh, you have all these exclusives, but when are they going to come out? I think that's their main like rebuttal.
Oh, and then also if they'll say about the Japanese games, Jap crap, and I'm just like, okay, if they're not,
I guess you haven't played them.
Yeah, they never play them, and the reason they say they call it Jap crap is they just don't try the games, and
yeah, like
they just say that just because the game isn't on their platform. When the game's on their platform, they're not going to say stuff like that.
Yeah, and
they weren't saying that with Scalebound. The game is a Japanese game.
Yeah,
being made by Japanese developers, but they didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, and
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but I think, like, just to end this topic off, right? Because we need to end this topic and talk about the next one, is the fact that Xbox needs to update the game. If they don't, then you know exactly where we're gonna be in the next year or two. Xbox is gonna repeat themselves over and over again with the same games, like, similar games, but it'll be the same company. We don't want that. We need something different.
Yeah, and my advice for Xbox, and this will end it, and just get your thoughts. What I think Xbox needs to do, and they don't even need to buy games, because that doesn't work for them. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider sales were abysmal when they had the year exclusivity.
Yes.
I think they just need to invest in first-party studios. They need to start acquiring new talent and creating new IPs. And even if their new IP doesn't succeed, just try again with the sequel, because I know they want these billion-dollar franchises, but you're not going to be able to get it if you don't at least try for like a sequel and see the result.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, on to the next topic, because I think that's the next.
So everyone in the gaming community has complained about this tremendously, and I'm starting to hear more about it, and I'm starting to get annoyed by it. It's Bethesda's paid mods. It's their creation club. So there's like, let's say, armor and stuff like that for like PC, and it's also for consoles as well. And you have to pay like $4, and these are being made by people in the PC that make those mods for free, so everyone can enjoy them. It's like cosmetics, it's quests, and now Bethesda is wanting to make money off of it. And you see that with the Bethesda paid creation club thing. And you have their marketing leader, Pete Hines, trying to damage control it, saying, well, there's quality to it. And I'm just like, there's also quality to the PC versions, and they're exactly the same as well. And I don't believe that these mods should be paid. Like, consumers have to pay for it, because Bethesda isn't the ones making those mods. And I feel strongly about this because everyone, like the Bethesda fanboys, always were trying to paint this great image of Bethesda. And now they're starting to become an EA, a corporate shell. And I don't want to see that to Bethesda, because I like Bethesda in terms of, them publishing games such as Wolfenstein 2, The Evil Within 2, Dishonored 2. I don't like majority of the games like Fallout and Elder Scrolls Online, but I like the games that they publish than them developing games. And I think this is very anti-consumer by them doing this. And of course, due to their programming for their creation club, you're not going to be able to get a big quest line or a big new map that people like to program and make for like the PC version. And I feel that this isn't right, and I think they need to stop with this and just shelve it. What do you think, Inspector?
Yeah, I think it's a really bad business practice having people pay for these mods, because like as you said, other people made these mods for free just so people can have fun. You're basically taking the fun away from people. And like if the game's not fun, less people will play it. So like I don't play Bethesda games, so it doesn't really affect me, but I get why it annoys people that play Bethesda games.
Yeah.
What about you, Marvel DC fan?
Well, I know I don't really, play Bethesda either. Like, I don't really do modding and stuff. I don't even have a computer to do that thing. But I have the kind of same mindset as everybody else, where it's just kind of taking the fun out of everything. Like, people make these for free to, for everybody to enjoy. And the fact that Bethesda is trying to, make money off of it is just not good for their image.
And what about you, Talani?
I agree with what you said. Bethesda is just using people, and they don't think about the fans, what they want. And to be perfectly honest, if I had it my way, I would even pay people to do it. I tell them, look, this is your job. You're not going to get paid for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think, because it's a test, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, it's like you have to vote with your wallets and show them that you don't want this, that they need to stop with this. And if they want to do mods, it's fine for mods in the Xbox.
They need to stop on these mods things, because it could ruin the game big time.
Oh no! If it's a single player game, it's fine. Like,
but no, I'm talking about multiplayer.
No, Bethesda game, their games aren't really multiplayer focused. It's like Fallout, Skyrim.
So if it's like Fallout, then that's fine. But like I was thinking, if it's like multiplayer,
no,
then you got issues. Like then you're gonna have people like trying to hack the game.
No.
Dude, it's gonna be crazy. But
but they're leeching off of it though. They're making money off of it, even though they're not making it.
That sucks, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, that sucks. People make this for fun. Like, they're not doing this for...
Yeah, and their big whole spiel was, we're not going to charge existing mods, right?
Yeah.
That are already created. So there's this armor set. I don't know the exact armor set, but it was already made on the PC version. And they literally, on the console version, straight up charged people for this mod that they said they weren't going to do. And then Pete Hines had a damage control. Well, we were the ones that, of course, created that armor in the earlier Fallout games. Okay, that's fine, but you didn't put it in Fallout 4.
But what about the people who made it in the first place? Can they contest this Bethesda?
No, they can't do that exactly. But like, to me, it's just all anti-consumer.
Yeah.
And I think they need to stop. Granted, though, is it really Bethesda or is it their head company, ZeniMax, who I heard has a big shareholding on Bethesda. So it's kind of like, how Microsoft owns Xbox. And the same thing with ZeniMax owning Bethesda. So who knows about that? Another gaming topic that I want to talk about is just give you guys my quick overall impressions of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. And I got it for, of course, like $30-something because of Amazon Prime. So it was pretty cheap that I got it for, and I was happy about that. And I played it. I really enjoyed it. And it, to me, was a very good experience, and I will probably end up playing it again next week. I thought the gameplay was very reminiscent to Uncharted 4. I love the banter between Nadine and Chloe and the callbacks to Uncharted 4 and Uncharted 2. And you'll get mentions of Nathan Drake in the game, and I thought it was funny the way it was brought up. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the setting for the game. I enjoyed the story for it as well. And I'm glad that they had the main character be Chloe because, of course, she was absent in Uncharted 4, and we get to hear the story about her and her adventure. And I think it was a great closing point for the Uncharted franchise until it comes back with Naughty Dog or a new developer. And I'm just very happy about that. And of course, if you didn't buy Uncharted 4 and you did get Uncharted The Lost Legacy, you do get to play the multiplayer for Uncharted 4 anyways. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they did there.
That's a bonus, essentially.
Exactly.
So what's the timeline? How far after Uncharted 4 does this take place?
I think it might be like a year or two after. But yeah, it was pretty good. And I enjoyed the villain. I thought he was pretty cool. I think he was better than the Uncharted 3 villain in Uncharted 1.
Oh, you don't think it was better than Lazarevich? Or
that's a tough one. I think he's better than Lazarevich?
So
I think he's on par. Honestly, I do think Rafe's the best villain out of the whole series.
Yeah, Rafe is really good.
do you mind if I give?
I'll say he's on par with Lazarevich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind if I give my opinion on it?
Go on.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing game. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I don't play it, I've seen my one of my friends is actually a streamer, and he played The Lost Legacy on stream, and he really enjoyed it. He told me, "Dude, this is an awesome game. You know, it's one of those games." I took a look at the graphics. You remember the what's it called? Was it the E3 or was it
PlayStation Experience when they showed it?
Yeah, did you see the comparison video to it?
I never seen it.
Oh, dude, the comparison, I think, my own opinion, is that the comparison is that the is the vinyl edition looks a lot better than it does with the PlayStation Experience, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Because they showed the scarf and everything, and the detail in the game, amazing.
Yeah,
and even that PlayStation Experience footage looked amazing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but my honest opinion is the fact that it's a really, really good game, and if anyone's watching this on the vodcast, or if you guys are watching this live, get this game. It's one of the top games that it's a must buy. No two ways. Or no, saying, "Oh no, I'm not going to buy it." It is a must buy. End of discussion.
Yeah, it just shows the talent of Naughty Dog creating a game like that in a year, or a year and a couple months. And usually, the Uncharted games like Uncharted 4 took 3 to 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
So them creating that much was a testament to their talent.
Yeah. So, Marvel DC fan, what do you think about Lost Legacy?
I mean, I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, I'm really interested in picking it up. The graphics look great. All the characters and stuff that love. The kind of side characters that like Chloe and stuff are back, and that's kind of nice. And honestly, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And I wouldn't mind seeing more games kind of like that if that would be necessary, kind of the in-between gaps, if there was any more of that, kind of showing off more side characters. And I think it would be kind of nice for that kind of sub-series of Uncharted games.
Yeah, because I really want to figure out what happened with Chloe after she left in the middle of Uncharted 3. That's my main question. Is where was Chloe?
Imagine if that was
after Uncharted 3.
Imagine that's going to be Uncharted 5. How would you guys feel if that was the case?
I don't think it would, though.
I don't think it would.
I mean, if you play Uncharted 4's ending, you kind of see where they're hinting at a possibility where they would go with a sequel.
Yeah. I would think Uncharted 5 would be Sam and Sully.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess. Would you agree, Red Hood?
It could either go either way. I don't want to spoil the ending. I could say that or...
No, don't spoil it.
No, I'm not spoiling. I'm saying that or another person that was introduced in the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, in my opinion, I think if they're gonna go for Uncharted 5, maybe wait 4 years, then release it. That's what I
Well,
think.
it might not even be Naughty Dog though. It may be another company that
Another developer, yeah.
another first party studio for Sony that makes it. I don't know if Naughty Dog would ever come back to Uncharted after all these Uncharted games that they have made.
They might, because I mean, Crash Bandicoot didn't do that good on the sale.
But they also have Last of Us, so they have a cushion.
Yeah, so they have a cushion for The Last of Us.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I don't know though. Like everyone wants to say that The Last of Us will be 3 parts. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's gonna just be part 2, and that's it for The Last of Us.
I think it's just gonna be part 2. That's it. They'll have 2 parts.
Let's have that as a segue. Would you guys want to see a trilogy of The Last of Us games, or only it being a part 2?
I say part 2.
You say just part 2 and then end it?
Yeah. Because I don't see them for doing a trilogy. It's like it doesn't make sense. Like doing a trilogy, that would mean it'd be an extra 4 years for the 3rd game to come out. If you think about it.
I know, but it's tough because we don't know what's going to happen in part 2 because we don't really know that much information.
Yeah.
But and plus it's probably not going to come out until 2019 anyway.
Yeah, everyone's saying 2019.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I totally see either this happening where they go The Last of Us Part 2 and then a new IP.
I just have a feeling Joel is going to die.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that. Maybe they might write it where it's not like that because everyone expects that to happen.
Or maybe they'll switch it up and Ellie will die. Just imagine that.
So, Joel's getting old. It's like, bruh, I'm
like
back.
Logan.
Joel getting old? Oh my God.
I mean, Joel's getting there.
Yeah, Joel's I don't know, in the first game, I think it was in his 40s or 50s, right?
Yeah.
No, early 40s, I would say.
And now, why I say Chloe? Ellie's supposed to be
19.
Yeah, late teens. So it's
no, but she looks like 14, 15.
Oh, dude, she was 13 and 14 in the first game.
In the first game, she's 19 in this game.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so Joel's getting up there in age.
Yeah. Yeah,
he can't be running like he used to.
Yeah. So in my but yeah, so
So Inspector says, either way, you say part 2. What about you, Marvel DC fan? I know you are still Let's Playing the series, so you guys should check out that Let's Play. I've been watching that and I enjoy it. You just playing it, you can't really form a whole opinion on that, but would you see a trilogy or would you want to just part 2?
Honestly, I would feel I would go, for me personally, I would go with a trilogy, but honestly, it could be either or. They could just do a part 2 and then end it off, or if if the story kind of makes it so that they're setting up for a part 3, then it could happen either way. But I would do a trilogy.
Yeah, and my last note on it, and if anyone else wants to speak, I do agree with what you guys are saying, and because Neil Druckmann has said that he had a story left to tell for the Last of Us, and if there is still a story left to tell, then I can understand that. But if there isn't, I don't want the game being made just for the sake of making the game. If there's still a story left to told, then I'm totally on board for a part 3. But yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a shame because the worst thing you could possibly do is just make a game for the sake of making a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
that's what I think. I think that's going to be the case.
Wait, which one be the case of what? Them just making the story or them just putting it out?
them just putting it out and then that's it.
I don't know if Naughty Dog doesn't really like work that way for me.
They don't do that way.
So, but yeah, that's what we all think about the Lost Legacy then.
Yep. And so I guess we're gonna talk more about the comic side of things. Guys, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the Secret Empires, and if you guys are interested in going to the Secret Empires, just save yourself the trouble. Don't get it. The ending was very abysmal for the Secret Empire event. I think it had a multitude of things doing. I think they did prolong it. I think it should have been like maybe 6 issues. I felt like when they were writing the ending, they did it the last minute. And it just was very bad. I won't spoil it, but it's just... I'm just very disappointed. Very disappointed.
You got no comment to say about that?
No, I just don't. It's so like... They just need to realize and not milk out events, and if they do events, make it special and just get better writers. Sometimes I think where I don't know how they hire some writers. They hire some of these writers from like Miss America or something like that, from freaking Tumblr or something like that. I just don't understand.
Hold on, time out. Miss America? What the hell?
Yeah, America. She's a new character.
Yeah, I don't read that shit.
I know the people that I know that read it don't like it. So it's one of the critically panned books that Marvel is doing right now.
I thought you just said Miss America wrote a book. I was like, what?
No. I was saying it was like comic. So I don't know. They just need to hire better writers. They need to structure their comic division a lot.
The problem is all the writers are going to DC.
Yeah.
Yep. All the writers are going to DC because of the big event of the 80th anniversary for Superman.
No, it's just Rebirth in general because
Rebirth is just getting good buzz and stuff, and it deserves it.
Yeah.
And now all we're getting is Tumblr for Marvel. Like the only comics I read now for Marvel, just like Old Man Logan. What else do I read from Marvel?
You read Thor?
Nah. I just can't get into Thor. I read the Spectacular Spider-Man. I just think the jokes are flat. I thought I think it's better than Amazing Spider-Man for Dan Slott. Renew Your Vows. There's a certain point where I was a little meh about it, and that was for like the Venom arc. And I'm starting to get into it again. But yeah, that's only the Marvel comics I read. Then I read freaking Batman, Rebirth, Injustice, and Wonder Woman, and
don't spoil
other ones. No, I'm not spoiling. I'm not gonna spoil. I know how to not spoil things.
No, because I haven't read comics for weeks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm just saying the comics I'm reading right now, and it's like, and then of course I'll probably be reading the Doomsday coming out in November. I do love the art cover that has Batman reading Rorschach's diary. Some people want Rorschach to come back. Some people just want him to stay dead. And just...
The artist confirmed that he's still going to be dead.
Okay. So I really like the artwork. I'm getting excited. And it's supposed to be, this weekend? The Comic-Con, right?
I know. New York Comic-Con is in October.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, so that's like a few weeks away.
Yeah, it's a few weeks away. I think like October 7th or October 6th, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we get more news. I mean, they said there's going to be more news. So I guess we'll have people just talk about their comic books they're reading and their thoughts on Secret Empire. So Inspector's thoughts on Secret Empire, even though you didn't read it, and comic books you're reading.
Yeah, I didn't read it, so I have no opinion on it. And currently, comic books I'm reading, I'm reading mainly DC comics. But the weird thing about DC comics is that their schedule has been really wonky these past few weeks because August was a weird month in terms of release schedule. So I'm reading more older stuff. So I'm getting caught up on Grayson, which is really good. If you haven't read it, go get it because it's a great spy story. It's basically when
Yeah.
like after Dick Grayson died, quote unquote, in Forever Evil, spoilers, I guess, for a 3-year-old story. But he became he became a spy in a corporation called Spiral, and it's just really interesting. Great art. The artist in Batman, who's currently doing Batman right now for the War Jokes and Riddles, did the art in Grayson, and it's great art. It's amazing art, and I'm also reading more Wildstorm comic books, like older Wildstorm it's not an imprint anymore, but it was an imprint like that was purchased by DC. It was originally an Image imprint created by Jim Lee when he was working with Image, and they got bought by DC in the late '90s. And like some characters, Grifter is a Wildstorm character. You might know him from Flashpoint. Stormwatch is a Wildstorm creation. Midnighter, Midnighter, who you see in Nightwing. Currently, he's a Wildstorm creation. So I'm just going back and reading all those old Wildstorm books,
Comics.
Stormwatch, like The Authority. I'm currently reading Wildcats right now. So yeah, really enjoying it.
Nice. Marvel DC fan, what did you think about the Secret Empire, and if you're reading any comics?
Well, I don't really have the time to go to a comic book store and pick titles up, but I try to keep up with it as much as I can. And with Secret Empire, I mean, like, for me, the whole series, it just kind of dragged on, and then the end was just like, they realized that Marvel Legacy was happening, so it's just like, all right, change the ending so that, what happens. It was disappointing. And I try to keep up with DC titles mostly, because Marvel stuff, there's not a lot of titles that interest me. But like for DC, I try to keep up with, Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lanterns, Justice League, all that, stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay, what about you, Taladio? What is your? I know you didn't read Secret Empires, but reacting to people's feedback, and also what comics are you reading?
I haven't reading feedbacks for, well, obviously I haven't read Marvel comics for years I should say, but reading on the DC side of things, I really can't wait for Doomsday Clock, and the side of the fact that Rorschach is officially dead, confirmed. That is something I'm glad that it's confirmed for. But the other thing, what's the other game called? Not the game, sorry. The other comics. Detective. I think Detective Action Comics is just that it didn't time right for me.
Yeah.
It just didn't time right.
The problem with these stories is that they're filler stories, because the next arc in Action reveals who Mr. Oz is.
Yeah.
So they're just buying time, and it was a different writer, so that's why it felt different.
Yeah, it did.
And with Detective, that's also a different writer, even though the main writer is kind of like overseeing the other writer. But
Yeah,
like these are basically like filler arcs, just to they're kind of like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Because like the next arc in Detective is the return of Tim Drake. Like, I don't want to spoil what happened to Tim Drake.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I did hear about that coming back because Entertainment did a video on it. So I can't wait to read that. And also Action Comics and Batman and Superman comics. But Injustice hasn't, like, they said, oh, Injustice is going to be every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Hasn't even turned up since this week. And I haven't.
It came out this week.
It came out this week.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks just because of August, because August was a weird release month for DC.
Yeah, like for me, it was just like weird. Like I haven't had any Injustice comics, and I was like, "What the fuck? I want Injustice comic."
And like even though I consider this issue kind of a filler issue, it was still really good.
Yeah.
So, Injustice 2 has been consistently solid
Yeah,
as a comic.
I would agree on that. Now I just can't. But I'll be honest with you though, as a whole thing, that it's just now I think DC has got the comic book side thing covered really well.
Yeah.
That's why I think, even though they're
Yeah.
showing fillers and they're giving us issues and stuff, but they've got everything else fitted perfectly.
I mean, filler issues always happen. That's the thing with structuring comics, is that you have to have filler issues
Yeah,
or filler stories.
yeah. So
So
that's what I pretty much got to say about everything.
it all depends on how you structure them. Cough, cough, Tom King.
Yeah,
Because you're really messing it up. No offense to people who like Tom King's Batman, but he's just really messing up the structure of his book, and it's really annoying me.
so that's what we pretty much got to say. Right.
So I guess we're gonna go into like the TV side of things, then movies, and then go back to one game news. TV side of things, I'm gonna go from bad to okay to good. So
Okay.
starting for the bad of news, Inhumans is garbage. It's not surprising.
Yeah. Did we expect any less from Inhumans, or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's like at least I'm not gonna say it, but like Armin, at least he has the decency to say it's garbage. He did sugarcoat though before, like with the trailers and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, I hope if he sugarcoats this, I'm this dude. But no, he said it was trash, and I was like, okay, he said something reasonable this time.
Can Scott Buck just be fired from running shows?
I think this is it. I think if the TV side of things don't fire him, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna react. It's like, you know what, guys? We heard you. Scott Buck, he's gonna make Moon Knight Netflix show. I would just die. I would be like, no.
Like,
no.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I've never watched Dexter, but he ruined Dexter.
Oh,
he ruined Iron Fist, and now he ruined Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
why it's game. That's why it's
three strikes you're out, Scott Buck.
Yeah. That's why it's game over. Marvel's TV shows are game over.
I don't say TV shows.
I wouldn't say TV shows, because even though Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has moved to a later time slot, it's actually gained more viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I'm not talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm talking about the other shows.
yeah, well, Inhumans was its own thing. So, and
No, I mean I enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not gonna lie. I mean I enjoy it.
I don't know. I thought I got progressively. I thought season 2 was great, and then season 3 was all right, and then season 4 got better.
Yeah. So I think like the other shows, they just don't make sense to me. So,
Like, what do you mean by other shows? Do you just mean Inhumans or Iron Fist?
Like
no, Humans,
Runaways or
Humans, Iron Fist. That those two shows particularly didn't work.
Because I
out.
thought, like, when you said that, it made like a generalization. You know what I mean?
yeah.
No. I was talking about just the Inhuman side. I saw the first episode. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same with Iron Fist. I didn't like it at all. But like, I enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm watching that on TV, and it's really interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
What else to say though? Like, I mean, the costumes look cheap. There wasn't really much advertisements with IMAX for this show.
No, there wasn't any. There wasn't any thing for it, because let's put it like this: they spent a big amount of budget filming it, and then when it came down to the crunch, they didn't have enough money just to promo it.
I'm just really wondering, like, who actually went to see it in IMAX? Like, if I heard like amazing things about the show, if I was like hearing this thing is a masterpiece, I'll be like, all right, let me see. I'll go to IMAX to see the first 2 episodes. But no, I knew it was gonna be garbage. Right when the reviewers were like, "Oh, this is trash. This is pretty bad. This is probably Marvel's worst TV show to date." It's
with project to date.
Yeah, it is, and Yep, they're gonna rebound with Punisher. I know that for that show, even though they're not in the same. I mean, it's so hard to
It's too
explain
complex. It's too
because Netflix is a distributor for the ABC Netflix shows, so they're an ABC, but because of the violence and mature.
Are they still part of the MCU? Yes or no?
So
It's up in
they
the
say
air.
it is, but they don't reference, like the movies don't reference it. It's like saying yes,
but
but
no.
they don't do it. It's like
Yes, but no. Yeah, it's kind of complicated, just because they're run by two different regimes.
and I heard it's just because they don't like each other.
Yeah.
Then that
Perlmutter doesn't like Foggy, and they don't get along. And plus, Perlmutter got demoted, so I don't know where he is in all this now.
Yeah, I think that it confuses me a lot because Samuel L. Jackson was on Agents of Shield, and that confirms that they actually crossover, right?
Yeah, but like then afterwards, it's like nope.
No, yeah, exactly.
Well, like except for like Age of Ultron, was like,
or Winter
spoiler.
Soldier was the last half of season 2. Was
yeah, and then Age of Ultron, where he gets the helicarrier from like Agent Coulson, and then Nick Fury brought the helicarrier to I forgot where he had it. I don't know if it was actually in the farm in Age of Ultron or I would have to watch that movie again, but we'll take a Marvel DC fans take on what about Inhumans? What are your thoughts about the reviews and people's opinions about the show?
Honestly, like, we all knew it was gonna suck. Like, even just like the first kind of glance at it, you knew that it was gonna fail. And like, I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I just put it down. I couldn't finish it. It was just too boring, and it just was terrible. But like, I don't know. If this is why, like, it should have been a movie. Like, if they kept it as a movie, then I mean, we could have got something better than.
Oh, Scott Buck would have touched it then.
Yeah.
I think.
And plus, Kevin Feige doesn't really care about the Inhumans, so that's why it became a TV show.
So, let's switch over to the DC side of things because I think that's really important because they've done promos for it, and watching the trailer.
You don't want to talk about Defenders?
No, I don't want to really talk about that because it's. No. I mean, we've seen the trailers. I've seen the trailers so many times on Twitch. It gets to a point where I'm just like sick of seeing it over and over and over and over and over again. So, but so the DC side of things,
and I haven't watched Defenders, so
yeah. So let's talk about the DC side of things and the trailers. So we watched Supergirl, The Flash, and Legends and everything, and the Fortnite crossover. I am expecting something big from The Flash. That is something I really am excited for.
The crossover is actually 2 days.
Yeah, so crossover is 2 days. So that is going to be interesting to watch. But I think in terms of Supergirl, Arrow's going to be interesting, and Legends as well. I think I think the only 3 shows are going to be interesting is Arrow, Legends, and Flash. Not Supergirl.
I'm different than you. Flash for me, man. It's just I don't know. I just fell out with Flash. I love season 1. I loved it. Like
the Reverse Flash.
I just loved how they handled the story, and I just think the writers just. I don't think they can't replicate that type of success anymore.
No,
they try to do it, but the problem is with like the great thing about season 1. We've already talked about this. I don't like reiterating it, but the thing about season 1 is that we had a type of dramatic irony where we knew halfway through the season that Harrison Wells was Eobard Thawne, but Barry didn't. So we had a reason to keep watching the show because we knew Barry didn't know, but we knew. But the problem is that they draw out these mysteries where once you get to the reveal, you don't care about it. That's the problem with Zoom, and that was definitely the problem with Saboteur.
And then kind of retreading plot tropes,
Yeah.
Barry messing up all the time. It's like
evil speedster, Barry shaking his head all the time.
Yeah, it's like honestly, a normal human, you're not gonna make the same mistakes 3 or 4 times in terms of let's go to the past. Let's do it again.
And plus, the problem with Flash is that it seemed like Flash was the only show that was majorly affected by Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other shows really weren't, because the Legends were going out doing their own thing.
Yeah, which literally affected nothing.
Yeah. Arrow was doing his own thing. The only difference is Diggle had a son and not a daughter.
No.
So, and the only time that was brought up was on Flash. The only time that mattered was on Flash.
And it wasn't also the crossover as well?
Yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, the only time it mattered that they made a big deal of it was on Flash and on the crossover. Other than that, it was a nothing thing. It was just oh, he has a son now.
And I feel like it's becoming very soapy. I don't like to say that, but it's becoming
that was the problem with the 3rd and 4th season of Arrow. It just became too soapy. And season 5 got back to the season 1, season 2 type of Arrow. So
yeah, my advice is I don't. My advice for Flash is just get rid of more of the soapy parts. Not make the same plot points like you do with all the other seasons. Even though they changed the villain, now he's on a speed. Now the person's on a speedster, and I'm okay, that's cool. My thing is, if you still retread the plot points, then there's going to be major issues. Yeah, I'm going to have major issues still. And honestly, I'm waiting for a couple episodes. And one of the big problems, I know they can't do this, right? That they can't have Flash, not be in the he's only not in the first 2 episodes, and he comes back in the 3rd.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they do it a little bit longer, but then I can still see it from the side of marketing. There's an issue there. And, not, having a Kid Flash being the center of attention. I feel in terms of story, it's great to do that and just to see how the world is without Flash and the inner turmoils of the city and how crime is still rising, and seeing how Kid Flash deals in that type of situation. And the inner workings for the team and teamwork, and it'll be pretty interesting to see. But he comes back in the 3rd episode, so it's I feel like it could be done. I feel, but then I can still understand the marketing point where there could be issues for that.
So, Marvel DC fan, what is your opinion on this DC side of things?
I'm really excited about Arrow. I've watched the last. Well, I tried to keep up with the last season, and I enjoyed what I saw. And I'm really curious to see what they do for this season. The Flash, I kind of lost.
You lost track of it.
But I'm curious to see what they do also. But I'm not as excited as I used to be for the Flash. Legends, I honestly don't really care about. I don't watch that.
I like Legends.
Yeah, it's just not the kind of show for me. I dropped out.
I get it, but I like Legends.
Yes, and for Supergirl.
No, I don't watch that either. It's just there's nothing interesting about that to me.
So
I mean, that's opinion out of walls. Just we don't like Supergirl.
We don't like.
I couldn't get it. I couldn't get into Supergirl either.
Dude, right from the first trailer, I knew what this show was gonna be, and I was like, nope. Don't want any of it.
I don't want any of it. Yep. So
I watched the episodes with Superman, but after that, I was just done.
That was the only best thing about that season 2, Superman being in Supergirl. That was it. That was it. But anyway, years and talking about what was it? Games, was it? Back to game?
No. There was one more TV show I wanted to talk about because I was gonna say Flash, but then you mentioned Flash. My fellow Game of Thrones fans.
Oh my god.
Several
Here we go.
things
yes.
to tell you guys.
Here we go.
You guys talk about this. I don't watch Game of Thrones. So,
Game of Thrones, of course, broke records with their finale, titled "The Dragon and the Wolf." It went for like 16.7 million viewing for that 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. and it was a feature film length, and it did great. And then, of course, then the numbers came in for the streaming devices. It was like over 30 million people watched the episode, and what to say is, like, I'm not surprised. Game of Thrones is one of those cultural phenomenons that has happened, that everyone loves this show. It's up there with Breaking Bad in terms of quality, in terms of acting, in terms of cinematography, in terms of CGI, in terms of fight scenes, in terms of dialogue, story, pacing. And what can I say? It's like it's being finally recognized, and them winning the Emmys and stuff like that. I'm very happy for them. And of course, if you guys are big Game of Thrones fans, what can I say? They are starting to film in October, and hopefully we can see it late 2018. But of course, no spoilers for season 8 or season 7, but it may be delayed due to heavy effects being made for the show, such as there are dragons in the show, and probably the most realistic dragons in terms of TV and movies combined. I think the dragons in Game of Thrones look better than Smaug did in The Hobbit. And I'm just surprised how HBO pours the money into that show. It's insane. And even though you guys don't watch the show, what do you think about those numbers in terms of viewings and the ratings that it's getting and the appeal for the show?
I think it's the ratings must be good because it must be a good show to watch. But I have no interest in watching that because it's not a type of show I really watch. But like if the ratings are good and the viewing counts and everything are good, that shows that it's a plus sign. So, but I know that Inspector doesn't watch it either. So
yeah, I don't watch it, and I saw that a GIF was made out of one of the scenes of the episode.
Which ones was it? Was it the carrying the chains?
No,
it was the one where they threw the spear or whatever.
Oh, dude, I love that. I was the first one. I was like, dude, this guy's in the Olympics. This man could throw that spear like no one other can. My friends were Snapchatting me too. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that became a GIF, like a meme.
Yeah, it became a meme.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I'm just too far behind.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend time and effort to go, oh, I'm gonna watch it, and
Trust me, I was like you guys until my friends forced me to watch it, and now I'm a big fan.
Yeah, but for me, it's not worth it. Marvel DC fan, got any opinions?
For ratings, like that's amazing. Like, especially for the people streaming it, and like I watch Game of Thrones, but like I'm behind a season. Like I said, I'm really busy, but like I need to go back and catch up because I'm really excited for what is coming up next. Like I keep up with the show, but I need to go back and watch it. But yeah, honestly, like those ratings and stuff, those are amazing for a TV show. Game of Thrones such a, I guess, a cult phenomenon now. Like, it's really popular.
I was like in my class for it was a bio class. It was Tuesday. My classmate was just like, dude, I didn't go to bed for a while. I was like, dude, why? Did you study all day? He's like, no, I watched Game of Thrones. I was like, dude, I found another one. I was like, bro, what season are you on? He's It's like I'm on season like 3, and then he described this one thing. It's like probably the worst feeling you get when watching that scene. And he's like, "Bro, that was so bad." I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's happening! What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Dude, I know you're paid." I was just like, "Yeah." It's like these shows, like everyone can talk about it, and I'm very surprised about it. Like you don't get that with like shows like Daredevil and like Arrow, and like I wish we did in terms of the comic book TV shows.
Yeah, that kind of thing is there.
You don't, and it's
We don't.
a little bit sad. And I was like, but Game of Thrones, everyone knows. All the girls even talked about it too. They're like, "Yo, Jon Snow, did you see his ass?" And I was like, "Girls, I don't care. I'm straight, ladies."
Oh my god.
It's just like when people talk about Nightwings, but it's like, okay, whatever you want. I'm not into that, but
Be like, okay. But anyway, switching gears and talking about games now, because I think
we have like
Oh, don't we have are we done with movies? Or
Yeah,
we're going to movies, and then one or two about game movie side of things, and that is of course
the Joker.
We'll do that in a bit. I wanted to talk quickly about. It's gonna be a little bit of a rant, and I think people are kind of dumb, and I have to teach everyone when somebody says, and I quote, that Batman is going to have a standalone film and it's not going to be, dependent on the DCEU. That's not the exact words, but I'm paraphrasing. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's not in the DCEU." And I was like, wait a minute. Let me read his quote. And then I read it. I'm just like, you guys realize what he's saying is he's making a standalone film that is still part of the DCEU, but isn't going to be heavily reliant in terms of movies like Batman v Superman.
Like Wonder Woman.
It is like Wonder Woman. It's going to be like Aquaman.
Story. Yeah.
And I don't understand how people thought and ran with it.
Yeah.
And then he had to clarify.
Sorry. I want to talk
about
I'm very passionate about this topic too. So
it's just like
I have a strong opinion on it.
I just don't understand. Matt Reeves was like, "Boy, I was on this podcast.
What did I miss?"
It's like
that was his quote. It's like, "What did I miss?"
And I was like, "Jeez, guys, you need to
chill."
Basically, what they need to do is chill the fuck out and forget about all these rumors from.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't technical. Like it was like taken so out of like it was just like so misinterpreted.
It was taken out of context and it created a rumor that didn't need to exist.
Exactly. Like he was on a show, but the thing was he didn't like. I don't know, man. It's so bad. When I was like,
okay, wait. Before you talk to Ladia, I want to talk about this because I'm very passionate about this topic. I hate these blog sites. They are the worst. Screen Rants, Batman on Film, Heroic Hollywood. All these sites suck. Like, not to like all the writers. Like, I don't know them personally. Well, the Batman on Film guy is a dick. But if you've seen him on Twitter, he's a dick. But the problem with these sites is that they perpetuate
the TMZ of comic books.
Yeah, basically. And the problem with these sites is that they perpetuate these rumors so much, they over-exaggerate these rumors. And I have a problem with THR because the problem with THR is that they put out the same rumor, it seems like every week. They put out the same Affleck rumor every week since Comic-Con, basically. I don't know how many Affleck rumors they've like put out, probably like 4 or 5 in the past month. And they actually had to take one of them down because they didn't put an explanation for their article. So they had to take it down. So that's a huge red flag there. They had to take down one of their articles because it didn't have the right information. Like, I'm not bashing THR because THR, sometimes it's a reputable source, but when it comes to this, I think it's not fake news. They just don't know what they're talking about. because there's no proof. So you can't say it's fake when there's no proof. It's just unproven.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what Talia and I were talking about like a few days ago. Like this news isn't fake or real. It's just unproven. It's just
There's
a
no
rumor.
evidence. Yeah, there's
It's
no
not
evidence.
news. It's a rumor.
Yeah.
So, and it
There's no
seems like
evidence
and it
what it
seems like Hollywood Reporter has a vendetta against Ben Affleck because they seem to want the THR seems to want Affleck out of the role more than Affleck leaving. It seems like they want Affleck out of the role just to prove that they're right.
Yep.
That's the problem with all these sites is that they want to be right. They have to prove that they're right, and
just like that.
That's the problem. They just have a huge ego.
Just like that day, John Campia was happy. What happens? Backfires on him.
Yeah, like I don't want to call out anybody, but
yeah.
I say, man, if
they're
you're
not gonna-
wrong, just take the crow. Just eat the crow.
Yeah, just eat the crow.
Take
Yeah,
the
just
L.
admit that they're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, just and that's it.
Now that I've added to Red
Yeah.
Hood's rant, so
Yeah.
Claudia,
Yeah.
you can talk now. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you.
Don't worry, your passion. And guys,
You just extended it.
hold on. I know inspectors, what's it called, passionate about this stuff. Guys, don't ever believe what people say on blogs. Not until the official word has come out, and that's what I've said so many times to so many people. Look, like in the video game world, as an example, not saying it will, but as a video game world example, like you had this rumored Batman game, but there's no evidence to back up what it says. No evidence. But in the movie side of things, people just say, "Oh, Ben Affleck's going to leave." He said he's going to leave, but Ben Affleck completely said the opposite thing. Said he's staying on the Batman project. He said he would even do a monkey. You guys remember him saying that at Comic-Con?
But the thing is, Taladia, WB paid him to say that because they don't want bad publicity.
Mm.
That's what that's their whole cover up. Because Gal Gadot said the same thing about the Justice League reshoots.
Yeah.
Like Gal Gadot was asked about the Justice League reshoots, these huge, extensive Justice League reshoots that Joss Whedon reshot the entire movie twice, or is reshooting half the movie and changed the ending. It's like, first off, that's an impossibility at this point because the movie's only 3 months away, and two, it's like the problem is with the reshoots is that they're not reshooting a lot of footage. They're just trying to get everyone back to do the reshoots because Henry. Well, right now Henry is off. Like he's taking a break from Mission Impossible 6 since Tom Cruise is injured. But like Ray Fisher's out doing. Yeah, Ray Fisher is out doing his own thing. Gal Gadot is being a mom. Ben Affleck is like
that.
well Ben Affleck was available. Ezra Miller was doing Fantastic Beasts too, so they're all doing their own certain things or projects. So they're busy. They have to get all these people back to do the reshoots.
Well, it's kind of easier though if it's in the vein of Warner Brothers movies. So it's like easier to get, like, let's say Ezra Miller. It's easier to get him on the reshoots and stuff like that. It was harder to get Henry Cavill though because he was in Mission Impossible, which is a Universal movie.
I
So
know,
was,
but
like,
I think
really
Fantastic Beasts is shooting in like the UK.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, I know that, but I'm saying Warner Brothers is more accommodating.
No,
yeah,
because
and
it's their
also,
own movie.
I know, but also Jason Momoa is out in Australia, but like he's filming Aquaman, but he's across the world, on the other side of the world, so he's busy. And plus, they said they are having a couple of problems with the underwater scenes because James Wan loves practical effects.
Yeah.
So they're actually shooting most of the, like if you've seen, they're on the Village Roadshow a lot in Australia. And you see that they have like this huge pool, and they're just shooting like most of the scenes underwater. They're not using CGI.
And I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. I love that. I love James Wan. So there's no problem.
I feel like when you make a movie like that with like CGI, it's like it doesn't age well, especially like if it's underwater too. It's like it's better for it to be like more practical effects. It's still like it's fine to use some CGI,
Yeah.
but practical effects is better to make it look last longer in terms of it aging.
Yeah.
So, but Marvel DC fan, got any opinions before we change subject?
When the director, like, everybody's like out of control saying like, oh, Batman's not in DCU, but then the director just says like, oh, it is in DCU, it's just a standalone film, not really tying into, like, it's not really going to be mentioning a whole lot from the other movies. I'm that kind of guy just sitting in the corner just looking at everyone just being like, congratulations, you played yourself. But like when it comes to rumors and that kind of thing, for me, what I do is that, like, it's just a rumor. Unless, like, I hear from that person officially, like, if a rumor comes out, I'm not going to believe it until I hear actual evidence against, like, to confirm it. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, people just going out of control for pretty much, like, no reason.
Yep, just for
Like,
Yeah, and
honestly,
yeah,
there's not really much of an opinion. It's just like,
yeah, the problem is that, like, he answered the questions, like, he clarified his statements right, but then people was like, but Ben Affleck though, and I'm like, he wasn't answering that question. Leave him alone. Like,
yeah.
So, but
you're just
yeah.
giving him trouble that's not needed.
yeah. So changing subjects now and talking about the next topic of movies. I think we could talk about this, don't you, Red Hood?
What? Talk about what?
You're talking about
The Joker?
Yeah.
The Joker movie, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, there was a rumor going around saying Leonardo DiCaprio to be the next Joker. Guys, that is a false information. That was falsely posted online, and they had to literally say, "Oh, we fucked up." So, guys, it's false. So whoever said, "Oh, it's true, it's happening, it's false." There and then, and if I was Leonardo DiCaprio, I want to hear from him, not from some random website thing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I understand that. But there was something interesting, though, that Jared Leto was actually at the Destiny 2 launch premiere. I don't know why. He may be voicing a character. I have no idea.
I think he might be, because Destiny 2 just came out yesterday.
And, like, people were asking him about the Joker origin story. And this is just a quote. And he was asking about, if there's going to be another movie or there's two different Jokers. He says, I'm a little confused too. And this was, said during an interview at the launch of the video game Destiny 2. Despite his confusion, Leto also seems fairly sanguine about matters, or at least he's being a good sport. I love the Joker. He's a great character and really fun character to play. But it's a big universe, and when you play the Joker, there's no ownership there. You have the honor of holding the baton for a little while and then passing it off. There are other films that are in development. I'm excited to see what comes from them, he said. And then, there's news about, Gavin O'Connor, who was the director of
The Accountant,
possibly directing Suicide Squad 2.
Yes, I like The Accountant. So
okay, so that's interesting to hear. But yeah, as overall, guys, I mean, yeah, I'm just shocked and surprised by everything that's been happening.
Yeah, so I don't know. We don't know about the Joker. It may happen or it may not, or it may just get canceled. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But
yeah.
Yeah,
the problem with all these movies is that they say they're in development, which means they're an idea.
Yeah, and then they get canned.
Like, they haven't started production yet. They might get canned. And the problem is, if they get canned, they're going to put out another story saying, Joker movie canned. What does this mean about the DCU? It's like,
it's like
they didn't
even get the actors yet.
They're gonna twist their own. They're gonna twist it their own way.
They're gonna twist their own way. So, but yeah, Marvel DC fan, Red Hood, you guys got anything to say about this or?
Oh, besides, me, saying that quote and then saying about the Gavin O'Connor. I do say, though, I think Gavin O'Connor is a good choice for, like, Suicide Squad 2. I'm glad it wasn't the other director that was being eyed for Suicide Squad 2. I'd rather have Gavin O'Connor, which I'm just surprised they wouldn't have him doing it.
He should have directed the first movie, you think?
The problem is, like, when you say that, like, it would have been the same situation, though.
Yeah, we've been in the same situation.
Okay.
Like it's not about the director. It's just about like the problem is with Suicide Squad that came after Batman v Superman, and Warner Brothers was very reactionary, so they have to add in all those reshoots.
Yeah.
So.
Marvel DC fan.
Honestly, I really don't have an opinion for Suicide Squad 2 or the Joker movie. Like, with Joker, it's just like, it's not concrete yet. Like, it's not confirmed. So if they do say anything about it later, then, I'll have to wait until what they say.
Okay.
I'm not really going to believe it till then.
Okay, so there's one little piece of thing I want to add off just before we switch gears. Is the Justice League black suit, which is kind of leak, I would say.
Yeah, I don't toy, but I don't think that's really news. I think people are just, it's like, oh, black suit.
Black suit, yeah.
Black suit confirmed. It's like, it's just
like,
a toy.
Just a toy, yeah.
Yeah.
It could just not mean it. It could just be like, you know how they did for the collection, like, oh, you had this suit and this suit and this suit for the action figure. So it could be something like that, and I think that could be the case for the black suit.
Yeah,
that's what I think. But switching gears though, and Red Hood talking about the video games.
Oh, there was one big news that like blew up the internet though. That was the announcement of the director for Star Wars Episode 9 being let go, and of course, a lot of people had some interesting things to say. Yeah. And also, we have the potential of Rian Johnson, who is directing episode, I believe it's 8, is being eyed up to direct episode 9. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love Rian Johnson. I love his movies, and I love the process he goes into directing his films and doing a lot of backgrounds and taking inspirations from other films. And Chris, he made Jurassic World. Granted, I had a good time for Jurassic World, but I was very disappointed when hearing that he was going to direct episode 9 of Star Wars, because I just didn't see him filling that role, if you know what I mean. I just never, like, it's not a shot at him. Like, it's just in terms of, I'm trying to say the right words and not trying to say anything like bad towards him. Like, I enjoy Jurassic World, but Jurassic World is a movie just made to have, it's like a popcorn flick, and I don't want episode 9 just to be a popcorn flick, if you know that's what I'm saying.
Essentially, you don't want it to be like Power Rangers movie where it was just a popcorn, like
movie. Like I'm hearing great things about episode A in the development for that movie, and if he's gonna, and also it'll be more cohesive in a way because he's also directing the episode 9, and it would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
But what do you guys think? Because of the Han Solo news of those directors leaving, and now this one, what do you think, Inspector?
I was kind of indifferent to the Colin Trevorrow announcement when they first announced him. Like, okay, I guess. Like, they're picking interesting directors. Maybe that's why they're not getting along with Kathleen Kennedy. But like Lord and Miller are known for their own style, and I guess their style didn't mesh well with what Kathleen Kennedy wanted. So that's why they got kicked off the Han Solo movie, and maybe that's why Colin Trevorrow got kicked off of episode 9, because of they love this phrase creative differences, but it's a very vague term. So take it what you want. But as you said, Red Hood, like, to me, I thought did not like Jurassic World. I thought it was kind of a mess of a film. It was good looking, but it was just a mess. I didn't like the actors. I thought the ending was cool, but other than that, it was just very hollow.
Yeah.
Style over substance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I had to turn my brain off to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just eat the popcorn.
Yeah.
So Marvel, and your opinion?
I mean, I don't really have that much of an opinion. Like, honestly, I found Jurassic World enjoyable, so I'm kind of curious to see how he'll handle Star Wars. But like, yeah, not really much else to think like beyond that.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think, Taladia, then about Colin leaving? And he was the director for Jurassic World, and possibly Ryan Johnson being the director for Episode 9, who's the director for Episode 8.
Yeah, I agree with what Inspector said. 100% what Inspector just said, right in his piece. Like literally, I agree with it. It's a popcorn flick. Jurassic World is a popcorn flick. There's nothing you can do two ways about it. I didn't enjoy it. Like I really didn't. I just said no, not a movie for me. But I know other people just like, oh, popcorn flick, yeah. But I mean, if he's chosen so the director for Episode 8 is chosen for Episode 9, and it's confirmed, I think it might turn out to be really good. You never know. We'll have to wait until Episode 8 comes out.
Yeah, if Ryan Johnson messes up, dude, I love this director. If he does and Episode 8 is trash, I'll be crying.
Yeah, Looper is amazing. I love Looper.
Yeah.
I wish that movie got more recognition, because it got good reviews and everything. It's just nobody went to see it.
Yeah, nobody went to see it. It's kind of getting a cult following now, though, because a lot of people are watching it now, and a lot of people are liking it. So it's kind of getting a cult following.
Exactly.
Okay, so
we're gonna go to the game side of things, and two things. Well, one's gonna be super short. Batman Telltale. We had screenshots of Harley Quinn, and we had Episode 1. Episode 2 is coming out in maybe a week or two. Thoughts about it, and I want to say I have no thoughts about it. I'm literally waiting till the whole season comes out, actually.
Okay.
Just to, if it's so good, then I'll get it. If it's really great and it has great writing and everything like that, I'm waiting, because I was disappointed with season 1. And Harley Quinn screenshots, what I take from it, it's okay. I have nothing bad nor good to say about those screenshots of seeing Harley Quinn. I just think she's being introduced to me super, super early, because she already has her persona.
And plus, Joker isn't
even developed all the way yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's I feel like it's a little bit too much, or some people may say fan service. And
money grubbing, kind of. They want the money. Harley Quinn is
money.
very, very popular. So maybe people would say too popular.
Yeah.
To the point of annoyance.
She's getting to the point that she's going to turn into Batman.
She's even taking over Batman Day. It's becoming Harley Quinn Day this year because of her 25th anniversary.
Yeah, so it's essentially Batman. She's turning into Batman.
No, you don't understand. The girls love her. They're like, my spirit animal is Harley Quinn. I'm like, what?
No, you don't understand. I mean, in terms of her turning into Batman, it's Batman makes money. So Harley Quinn.
No, that's what I was saying. It's
she's becoming
more
more
girls even know her. Like girls in my class.
She's becoming more like Deadpool than Batman. Because Deadpool gained a lot of popularity because of his movie, and now people are getting tired of Deadpool. And now it's kind of the same thing where, Harley Quinn got a huge, Harley Quinn was, still popular before Suicide Squad, but she got a huge surge of popularity because of Suicide Squad. I think she was, the hottest Halloween costume of last year. And she's still,
I honestly don't think...
Yeah.
And she was one of the, she's one of the biggest cosplays at conventions, in terms of women. So
So
My
Marvel,
thing is like, though, real quick, like I think she's even more popular than Deadpool. I'll be honest.
yeah, she's more
Like a
popular
lot
than
of.
Deadpool. Yeah, she's more popular
Yeah.
than Deadpool now. They even said that she's the fourth pillar of DC,
That's
like
it's
Batman,
getting up
Superman,
there.
Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, you can
Like not
go up
Flash.
to
Not Superman.
you can go up to any college girl and just be like, "Do you know Harley Quinn?" And they'll be like,
They'll
"Yeah."
be like, yeah,
yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
yeah, Suicide Squad.
So
Like,
Marvel,
no.
any opinions on the Telltale stuff?
Meh.
Or meh?
It's just when those pictures came out, I was just like, all right,
Why?
like it just happened. Yeah, it just happened. Like I didn't even care about it that much, and like I'm kind of waiting till the season ends so I can kind of play through it myself and kind of get a good
Understanding for it.
understanding of it. You can say,
Okay.
yeah, like it's just, yeah,
Yeah, I think our consensus is just meh.
meh.
Yeah,
That's our consensus.
Yeah.
that's gonna be our answer for everything, guys. You know, for Telltale.
Yeah.
If you guys really want to
Meh.
get this game, I'll tell you now. Wait until the full episodes come out, because you know what? I
Yeah.
saw the first episode on the internet, didn't like it. So I'll wait until the full episode, full 5 episodes. And then if I get it, I'll get it. If I don't, I won't get it.
Oh no, it's The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah. So now, next.
The last one is like two things. It's two-part. Like you guys should check out. I'm gonna have a video up soon, maybe in 2 days. I have a reaction for The Witcher, the 10th year anniversary for the games, and gosh dang, almost shed a tear because my gosh, I read the books. I read the Witcher books, and I play the Witcher games, and that was a love letter to the developers, to the fans, and Geralt is speaking to the viewer as this journey was great having along the ride. And I was just like, gosh dang, the feels with all the characters in there in that in the Toussaint your own like house. And it was so like, it just shows you the developers care about the consumers. And CD Projekt Red has been this great pillar for gaming, and they don't overprice their DLCs or expansions. And they made these big expansions that are over like 30 hours, and it's just 21 to $25 pass, and you get 2 expansions, and it's just crazy. And then they also had free DLC missions that they worked on after the game was over. And to me, I wish developers would be more like this and just show them that they care about the fans, they care about what they're saying, and they're hearing what the fans are voicing their opinions. And to me, it just shows that the developers really love this franchise. And I wished we had more passion in the gaming industry, where we don't just have these yearly churnings like Call of Duty, Madden, sports, and all this other stuff. And I just think that this was something really special. And you guys didn't watch it, but hearing what I had to say, and overall, do you wish that developers were more like this? And we'll start with an Inspector.
Yeah. So I don't really play I don't play the Witcher games. They're not really my type of games. But from what you said, like I know these games have a huge fan base, and like the fan base like really loves the games. And I think CD Projekt Red is a great studio because, as you said, like they're like a very open studio, and also, as you said, they don't overprice their expansions. And as you said, their expansions are huge. Like, how many expansions for Witcher 3 have there been? Like 3 or 4?
Well, there were DLCs that were
Yeah.
about like 10 hours, and then the expansions, the first expansion was like about 15 hours, and then the second was 30 to 40.
Yeah, so you get more of that world, and I know like the world is like a big part of Witcher, and that's what people love about The Witcher. So yeah.
My
all I have
opinion
to
on
say.
this is just that I think it's they're doing a good job. Hopefully, we'll have something like this, from another developer for what they're doing for their games. For example, Rocksteady doing something like that for their Arkham trilogy, where they could do a big thing. But The Witcher's done really well. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to see your reaction to it, though. That is looking forward to watching. Guys, make sure you sub to him.
See
as
them
well.
tears dropping.
Oh shit, dude! I almost got the tear.
Yeah.
But I had to toughen up.
And guys, make sure you sub to Red Hood. He deserves it after all the efforts he's been through.
Yeah, thank you.
Please give him a sub. He deserves it.
Don't cry.
I'm not Red Hood.
Don't cry, Claudia. It's not that emotional.
I'm not crying. I'm actually kidding. But anyway, Marvel DC fan. Any thoughts or nah?
I've only recently got into the Witcher games. Like, I played Witcher 3 and I really enjoyed it. I'm not familiar with the Witcher franchise at all, but the fact that I see like developers really care about their fan bases, and think about them first when they're making games. Honestly, that's just a +1 in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, 2 small tidbits though. Next CD Projekt Red game is Cyberpunk 2033 futuristic game. It's
2077.
2077. Why did I say 2033? Okay, I don't know why I was thinking.
I guess you were thinking of Metro 2033.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking about Metro.
Cyberpunk 2077. It's gonna be different than Witcher. It's still an RPG game, but it's futuristic, and also
it's like Deus Ex kind of.
Yeah,
more
basically
RPG,
like that.
More RPG
and then expect like a mature storyline, like they did with The Witcher, and also there's gonna be a Witcher Netflix show, so also look forward to that. We don't know. It's not going to take place during after the games. It may take place during the books or before the books or adapting the books. I don't know. And then the other gaming news. So I just wanted to give my 2 thoughts on potentially Bethesda making a Game of Thrones game, and Bethesda Game Studio, not like their other studios, but Bethesda Game Studio, the people that make Fallout, that make Skyrim, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
When you think Game of Thrones, do you think good characters, good storylines, also great fight scenes, and then when you think about the Bethesda, you don't think of any of that. You don't think, oh, I'm going to get an amazing storyline. No, you're not getting an amazing storyline. You're getting a generic-ass storyline with some terrible side quests, with some bland voice acting. And I would never want to see that happen to a Game of Thrones game. We did have one from Telltale, and it was a decent game, and it wasn't like, it was like a 6.5 to me out of 10.
Season, isn't there, coming for that?
Yeah, but it won't be for a while, they've said.
Yeah.
And hearing Bethesda possibly making the game, even though the target listing was fake, rumors going around about that, take that with a grain of salt. But me, I would not want this game. It would tarnish Game of Thrones. It would tarnish A Song of Ice and Fire. Dude, they butchered their own lore in Fallout. And I feel like they would butcher the lore in Game of Thrones. And I feel like they wouldn't even read the books. They wouldn't even like watch all the shows. And this is, to me, what I think about Bethesda. They don't want to do like this quality. And let's think about Bethesda games. They're buggy. Bethesda Game Studio games are buggy. And I wouldn't like that. They, like, you think about it. It's like, well, I wouldn't want my favorite franchise going to a Bethesda game that my franchise has an amazing storyline and all that. And I would be sorely disappointed in hearing that Game of Thrones would go to Bethesda. If I would think about any developer that could make a Game of Thrones video game, is, of course, CD Projekt Red. We see that with The Witcher 3. It's the same genre, right?
Yeah.
The same same like setting. It's a fantasy game or medieval fantasy, and they're both dark stories with some
Yeah.
humor.
Mhm.
And that would be a perfect fit. Of course, if CD Projekt Red was contacted, we probably wouldn't get that game for like another, probably until 2030. I'll be honest. But overall, yeah, I think that would be a bad thing, and Bethesda just can't make that type of game. They should just stick to making Elder Scrolls and Fallout, Bethesda Game Studios, because they will not. They would just make a mockery of Game of Thrones because they can't get good writers. And my thing is, if I was president of the game studio, I would say, I'm sorry, guys, but we need to get good writers, and I'm going to get some good writers and start to make some good quest lines and side quests. Because we see that with Horizon Zero Dawn, where they hired a good writer who was also on The Witcher, by the way, and he did an amazing job with the story. So the same thing should be hopefully happens with the Bethesda game. But of course it won't happen. But overall, those are my thoughts about that. And even though, you know, you guys have said you don't watch Game of Thrones, but you may have played Bethesda games, I don't know.
No.
Or you've heard the like complaints about Bethesda
No,
games.
I've heard the complaints about Bethesda games, and I am not really concerned about this
Yeah.
at all.
I don't really play Bethesda games. The only Bethesda game that I played was Dishonored, and that was developed by Arcane.
Yeah. So I've got nothing to say about.
Do you think that they should work on the game, or it should be with a
No.
different developer?
To be honest, I think Bethesda should just stick to publishing and not develop any games anymore.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Marvel.
But the problem is people love Fallout, so they'll
Yeah.
milk Fallout to the ground.
So Marvel DC fan, got any thing?
Yeah, because you watch Game of Thrones. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I was kind of bouncing around in my head is like if you're making like a video game, like a tie-in to something as popular as Game of Thrones, is like you really need to put in 110%, because if you don't, then you fucked up, and the fan base is gonna shit all over you for it. And like Bethesda making it, like if they can really put in the effort, then sure, like that's fine. But like if not, then probably just push it to another developer who can probably put out more quality. But that's really all I have to say on that.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm done with those topics. Anyone else have a certain topic that they want to talk about?
No, that's pretty much it.
Nope.
That's pretty much it for us.
All right. So just quick thing. Reason why I haven't uploaded for like 3 weeks. Give you guys a quick explanation. I've been busy at school. I'm busy at work. It's very hard to make videos while balancing out my life. I'm saying hopefully I have my video out soon because I still have to edit it. That's the problem. And I did this recording like 2 days ago, and I just need to still get situated. I want to at least post 3 times a week, and then maybe with multiplayer games just play some on Twitch, and then you guys can get that type of experience. And then my Let's Plays will still be on YouTube, and that's still also depending on ding, you know, how busy I am. But that's the reason why I haven't been uploading for like 3 weeks. But expect that. Expect some breakdowns. I'm going to probably make some Game of Thrones theory videos as well. And also go more in depth of some of the stuff I've said and have that as a kind of opinion piece videos for you guys to watch. But we'll do our outros. Also, guys, if you're watching this as a past broadcast and you're towards the ending of this podcast, you know, give the video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. And also, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about the conversations we had. If you felt strongly about certain topics, let me know. I'll answer any of your replies. And we'll go with Inspector. Where can they find you at?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Inspector, where you can find me just weekly doing comic book reviews and just rambling about comics, mainly on my Twitter.
All right. What about you, Taladia?
You can find me on Twitter, which is at mtaladia, and you can also find me on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/TaladiaPlays, where I am doing a lot of different games such as Injustice, GTA, FIFA, all these different games. So I'm doing that on Twitch. I am no longer doing videos on YouTube, unfortunately, because the fact is it takes a lot of time and effort for me to do them. So I'm sorry for the guys, who are sub to me onto YouTube. So if you guys want to make your way to transition to Twitch, make your way to transition to Twitch, guys. I'll be live streaming every day from 8 p.m. UK time till 12 p.m. So you guys can come and check me out then. Yeah. Marvel DC fan?
Well, of course, you can find me on my YouTube channel, just Marvel DC Fan X99. Like Red Hood said earlier, we're doing The Last of Us currently, and at the time of this recording, this weekend is a very special event that I tell all of you to check out. And you can follow me on Twitter, just at Marvel DC Fan X99, and I have a Facebook too, but nobody really goes on that. But if you want to check it out, it's just Marvel DC Fan on Facebook. And yeah.
And also, quickly say though about the podcast, everyone was kind of talking to me about when do we expect the podcast, and to me, we kind of found a rhythm date, which is Wednesdays, where we're available, all of us, unless there's, of course, an emergency, and then some people or that individual won't be able to make it, or of course, if I'm not able to make it, then the podcast won't be able to happen. But we're gonna try to do it every Wednesday. And I will create some topics. Granted, there's no news and stuff like that, and I'm not able to create topics, and then we won't be able to. But then we'll have some cool what's our favorite comics, or what's our favorite video games, what are we playing, and stuff like that, or genre when we got into games and stuff like that. I'll create stuff like that if there's not much news to talk about. But yeah, expect that, and hopefully you guys enjoy this weekly podcast. And we're gonna be on top of it. I know we haven't been with this podcast, but hopefully we're gonna change this to a weekly thing, and so you guys can enjoy.
That's what we can say. We'll try our best, because some of us, for example, me, I live in the UK. Our time zones is different, so we'll try our very best to try and get a right setting and everything for you guys to get episodes out there. But like Red Hood has said, if there's no news, then it's most likely there won't be any podcast. But all I can say is, guys, subscribe to Red Hood, like the video, guys, and also make sure you check him out on Twitter and check out all our links in the description, guys. Pretty much that's what we've got to say. So until the next episode, guys, I hope you guys have a great day.
This is the Overleveled podcast, signing out.
See you guys later.
Peace out.
Take care.